Welcome into CBS Sports HQ. We are just hours away from the 2024 WNBA Draft taking place at the Brooklyn Academy of Music. Here are the top 10 picks in the final mock draft, which Jack Maloney published on CBSSports.com. Caitlyn Clark, the consensus #1, then Cameron Brink, the favorite at 2. After that, we could see some movement, but Jack has Terrika Jackson going in that spot. Kamilla Cardoso and JC Sheldon rounding out the top 5 picks. Let's dig into the mock draft with our women's basketball analyst, Terrika Foster-Brasby. Terrika, women's basketball is having a moment. It's expected to be a raucous atmosphere tonight as fans can attend the draft for the first time since 2016. We always love a little bit of mystery here, but not a lot of mystery surrounding who's going to be the #1 overall pick, is there?
Yeah, I think this one is pretty much a solid. Unless Indiana really wants to shake the table and throw us all into a frenzy, I feel very comfortable saying they're more than likely going to pick Caitlyn Clark at #1. We're already starting to see ticket sales skyrocket for Indiana as they are. Indiana fans are excited to see Caitlyn Clark as well. I think it's going to be a great opportunity for Caitlyn to shine. When you think about this starting 5, you think about, her playing alongside Rookie of the Year, Leah Boston, the #2 overall pick in Nalissa Smith from the year before. And Kelsey Mitchell is such an established shooting guard. This is just going to be a great opportunity for her to learn and a good space for her to transition into.
Yeah, it should be a very interesting night for her, certainly, to see her get up there. Caitlyn Clark has the #1 overall pick. The LA Sparks are a team that have 2 picks in the top 4. Now, the 2nd overall pick for them is expected to be Cameron Brink, isn't it?
Yeah, I think Cameron Brink is a good selection here. Cameron Brink is someone who really has a lot of offensive versatility. She brings a lot of defensive rim protection. And this is an LA Sparks team that really is going through a rebuild phase. They haven't been to the postseason in about 4 years, which is something that's really difficult for them to process. This is how LA teams are. They're used to championships, right? So this is something that's new for them to be in a rebuild year, but they have a great opportunity to not only build through Cameron Brink, but also keep her out west, which is where she's completely familiar coming from the Pac-12.
Yeah, and that's something to your point. Sparks GM Regan Pebley said they want to add foundational pieces with these 2 picks that they've got in the top 4. Now, there is some debate about who could go 3, either Kamilla Cardoso or Terrika Jackson. Jack has the Sky taking Jackson in this mock, Chicago Sky. How do you feel about that pick, which means that Cardoso would go west?
Yeah, you know what? I'm kind of on the fence. A part of me believes that Terrika Jackson would be an excellent pick here. Chicago is another team that is going through a complete rebuild. They have new coach in Teresa Witherspoon, and they recently traded up to get the #7 pick from Minnesota. That leads me to believe one of 2 things. Either A, they want to have an established guard that they would get with Terrika Jackson, who brings some offense, or they would also consider Kamilla Cardoso to give them a big that would be a foundational piece similar to what they would have in LA. Now, the thing is, they do have Isabel Harris already. So Isabel Harrison brings some height and some post play for Chicago, but literally whoever they choose in this spot is going to have an opportunity to play a lot and play often and really make a name for themselves in Chicago.
At 5, we have the Dallas Wings. JC Sheldon is who goes there in the mock draft. She could really help their perimeter play with that pick.
Man, would this be incredible? Dallas was a team that really shut us all up last year, right? We kept saying, we don't know what's going to happen with this Dallas team. What kind of identity do they have? Well, we'll tell you. They had a defensive identity that Coach Trammell made sure we all knew and understood. But also, they were a young team that understood that Arike Ogunbowale was the leader and everyone else was going to fall in line, and they did just that. I think JC Sheldon would be perfect to add to this mix. She gives them some shooting. She absolutely gives them some defense, which is right comparable to the identity that they've begun to build. So I do like JC in this 5 spot.
And we have Dallas with 2 picks in the top 10 as well. Chicago also have 2 picks in the first round. They're 3 and 7. They traded to move up a spot to 7. We have them taking Angel Reese. How do you like that selection, Reese going in this spot?
I love Reese going in this spot, and if she doesn't go in this spot, I would be okay with her moving up to 6 to go to Washington. But I really appreciate the thought that she could be there at 7 for Chicago for reasons that I just mentioned. This is a team that is rebuilding, right? That's number one. Two, the Chicago atmosphere is an atmosphere that Angel Reese would thrive in. It's a budding city. It has a lot of personality, and she's a player with a lot of personality. And it would also add them basically a point forward, someone who could give them the protection that they need, the rebounding ability that they need in the post, but also could play the guard position and knows how to handle the rock. And I think this would be an excellent opportunity for her to build her name and possibly even be considered for Rookie of the Year. I'm getting ahead of myself here, but I'm willing to go out on a limb and do that. That if she ends up in Chicago, she could really be a potential for Rookie of the Year.
All right, our basketball analyst, Terrika Foster-Brasby, talking about the WNBA Draft, which, of course, is coming up tonight. Starts at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time in Brooklyn. Thanks, Terrika. Enjoy the draft tonight. And, of course, the WNBA is part of our sporting coverage on CBS. 20 games coming up throughout the 2024 season. And, of course, the excitement starts tonight with the draft, the WNBA on CBS and streaming on Paramount Plus alongside CBS Sports Network.